The married ones are thinking of divorce, while the unmarried ones wish to be married. The unknown crave fame, while the famous just want privacy. The young want to grow old, while the old wish they could turn back time. The poor want to become rich, and the rich spend their nights wishing for the peace they lost chasing wealth. The ones who got what they wanted now want something else. Because wanting isn't about having, it's about chasing. The second something is yours, it loses its shine. No one actually wants it all. They just want to stop feeling like they chose wrong. And that's the only real choice. It's not about being satisfied with what you have or settling for less, but about choosing what you're willing to live with and what you're willing to let go of.
This is 1 Timothy 6:6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word, and all truth and in sincerity. I want to go into a lesson that is inspired by the clip that you just saw, and how it relates to the scriptures. The scriptures talk about this, the fear of the Lord being our treasure, and wisdom being the stability of our times. And one of the pieces of wisdom we're able to receive in this truth is the understanding that godliness with contentment is great gain, and we live in a society where no matter what you do, especially you Jakes, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it always felt like something was missing. When you were growing up, before you heard this truth, you always felt like there was something missing, and you just assumed that it was money, or you assumed it was having a big family or having a wife and kids, or, you set these certain goals in Babylon the Great, and growing up without the truth, you assumed that those would fill you up. Those would make you feel satisfied, as if you reached the finish line. And what that video pointed out is that being in Babylon the Great, it always feels like the grass is greener on the other side. And Esau uses that mentality, to keep all the hamsters on the wheel. But the reality is that once you accomplish one goal in Babylon the Great, like a mirage, it looks like it's even further down the path, because the American dream is really a mirage. The closer you get to it, you find out it's not real. And then you look up and the mirage is further down the desert. And before you know it, you're just chasing a carrot on a stick. And
Strong's
this is why
G, 841.
godliness with contentment. Now, I want to get this Greek word for contentment. All right, and this is it. All right, and it says, a perfect condition of life in which no aid or support is needed. Sufficiency of the necessities of life. A mind contented with its lot. Contentment. It says Strong's definition, self-satisfaction, an example, contentedness, or concretely, a competence, contentment, sufficiency. A perfect condition of life in which no aid or support is needed. And this is why when Yahweh Shema Shai is your rock, and your foundation, there's no need to be pressed, for the abundance of possessions, because that's basically what success is defined as in Babylon the Great. It's not about your integrity. It's not about what you stand for. It's about the abundance of possessions. And this is why social media is such a detriment to a lot of our people, because it gives you this assumption that everyone else is doing better than you are. And if you stay on the hamster wheel long enough, you too will achieve this American dream that you see on social media, with the jet setting and the 3 cars and the big houses. And all of this it's a mirage. And this is why the Lord said this in Luke the 12th chapter. All right, and I want to get something else, because when you understand this truth through the Spirit, you understand that none of it is actually tangible. None of it is real, and it won't satisfy you. It won't fill you. You know, one thing I mentioned through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh Shemal Shai a few months back is that, you know, brothers have a particular peace in this truth that money can't buy, that the world doesn't have. You know, we have tribulation in this world, but that peace that we always felt like something was missing, once we received the truth, that piece of us was filled. You know, it doesn't mean that we're exempt from going through problems and suffering, but ultimately we have a level of contentment and peace that money can't buy. You know, you have people who have more than heart could wish, but they don't have that kind of rest and peace. You know, I won't call it rest, I'll call it peace. All right, matter of fact, this is John 14. I'm going to jump down to verse 27, and it reads, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." In the NLT, it says, "I am leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. And the peace I give is a gift the world cannot give. So don't be troubled or afraid." And growing up, you know, you always thought that there was something missing. And now you have that thing that was missing, because even 2/3 of our people have that feeling that something is missing. They're just trying to fill it with the wrong things. You know, they believe that once they get the money, you know, the money will fix all of their problems. And that video pointed it out. You know, those people who have all of the fame, they wish they could have privacy again. You know, and the vice versa, because being in Babylon the Great, there's always going to be a level of wondering if the grass is green on the other side. And that's a product of the flesh. You know, it's a natural occurrence within the flesh, this idea of the grass being green on the other side. And that's why once you know this truth and you understand it, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. You understand that all the elements on this side, this fashion of this world, is going to pass away. All right. The elements are going to melt with fervent heat, and understanding prophecy gives you a certain level of comfort to a point where there's no need for you to keep up with the Joneses. You understand that race is going to be melted with fervent heat. But before we had this truth, and when you look at the world, you know, our family, the friends we had in the world, you know, they're all chasing this finish line that doesn't exist. Because this truth, you have comfort, but in the world, it's a carrot on a stick. You never actually achieve whatever you thought was going to make you feel whole again. All right. This is Jeremiah 50:6. And this is something our people don't understand. It says, "My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place." Why? Because our resting place is with Yahweh Shemal Shai. All right, this is why the scriptures say knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. All right. Now I want to grab this. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 15. And it reads, "And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth." And again, this is what we're taught. You know, so-called black culture is a culture of covetousness. You know, Jake goes to the club and they basically reign as kings over Jakes who don't have the same amount of resources. And it creates this cycle of covetousness. And the Lord said that your life does not consist of the abundance of things that you have. You know, but without this truth, you don't know that. And that's why, you know, you had a better chance of hitting the lottery or the Powerball than to have this truth. Because this truth is truly, it has no price. It's priceless. You know, the peace that brothers have is unlike anything you have in the world. You know, now granted, we do go through tribulations. That is something that is inescapable, you know, rather, because even 2/3 are catching hell. You know, the difference between 2/3 and the elect is that the Lord has given the elect mercy, and through his mercy, there's a comfort that comes with faith. You know, whereas our people, they have faith in this world, and their faith is in vain things. And this is why they're never full. Even the so-called rich jakes, they're not full. When you look at them in interviews, they don't look happy. Because one thing about this side of life, you know, and Solomon kind of expressed that when you look at Ecclesiastes, is that all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Because in this flesh, you get used to anything, you know. Jake that's living that lifestyle in this world, you know, you look at them and you listen to them in interviews, and they're used to that lifestyle. So it's no appreciation or excitement. It's just another Tuesday for them. And it all ends up being vanity and vexation of spirit, especially when you don't have this truth. All right. Real quick, this is Psalms 49 and 20. It says, man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beast that perish. All right. So if you don't have any understanding, even though you may have wealth or abundance of possessions, you're just like a beast. All right. Because ultimately through the spirit, this truth is the real riches. And that's why the scriptures say the rich sit in low place. And the beauty of that video, it reminds me of this quote, right? This quote reads, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. And this is from Epictetus. And Epictetus was a Stoic. All right. He was a Greek philosopher, and he was also a Stoic. All right. And this is very true, because you have those who have abundance of riches, but they don't have contentment. You know, they're not satisfied. And because of that, you know, they wander to and fro. They have to continue to set goals for themselves, and they end up becoming a spiritual wanderer. And that's 2/3 of our people. They don't have a resting place. You know, these curses follow you throughout these different tax brackets. And without the truth, you really have no comfort here. You know, granted, even having this truth doesn't give us rest on this side, but we have a level of comfort because we understand that this is all going to come to an end at a certain point. That eventually the Lord is going to come back and restore things. And as the scriptures say, we're going to look back at this time and laugh at it. There's a peace and comfort in that. You know, the jakes that get it on this side, you know, they work hard to get it, and then they have this level of fear of losing it. You know, they compromise themselves to get it. You know, they go into these skyscrapers, get on that casting couch and compromise themselves to get it. And then they still have to worry about losing it or worry about falling off. You know, what does it profit a man if he gained the whole world and lost his own soul? Because even those guys, you know, they have more than heart could wish. But then that grass is greener on the other side starts to kick in. And a lot of them, you can hear it in their songs, they wish they didn't even get the money. But at that point, it's already too late. You know, this is Psalms 126:1. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue was singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. This verse gives great comfort through the spirit, you know, because it's a reminder that there's going to come a time, you know, where we're going to look back at this lifetime and laugh. You know, it's not necessarily funny at this point, you know, yet we're going to be able to look back in the kingdom at this point in our existence and laugh at it. You know, it's going to be that small and insignificant compared to what the Lord has done for us in the kingdom. And it said, again, the heathens, then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. You know, this is why the scriptures say the rich sit in low place, because really the entire nation of Israel, we're the rich, but it begins with the elect. You know, and having this truth gives you a level of peace where you're not pressed to have or chase or have 3 and 4 and 5 jobs to, you know, have a whole bunch of a big ass house. And, you know, you're not pressed to do that, or, you know, try to save your family from poverty and all of these different things that consumes the thoughts of Jakes. It's a reason a lot of the Jake men die early, because they stressed out from trying to, you know, as they say, break generational curses. You know, you have this this load on your back as far as, supporting your family and trying to make ends meet, but then you want more than that, and then you end up setting these goals for yourself that if you get them, it come with other problems, or you don't get it and you feel like a failure. The Lord has ultimately freed the elect from that cycle and that thought process. Now, being in the flesh, there's always going to be these thoughts that you have to rebuke with the scriptures, that war with the flesh that Paul talks about. Yet through the Spirit, having this truth gives you a ground. It gives you an anchor. Scripture describe it as an anchor for the soul. Without it, you're just like a wandering ship at sea. Because our people are hell bent on believing that the money is going to fix it, and it don't. It just creates a new set of problems. All right, this is 1 Corinthians 7 and 22. And it reads, "For he that is called in the Lord, being a servant, is the Lord's freeman. Likewise, also, he that is called being free is Hamashiach's servant." So the Lord has loosed the elect from those bounds and from the bounds of expectation, of trying to chase the bag and keep up with the Joneses. You're freed and loose from that. And that's a contentment that money can't buy. Because that video shows you those who were married wish they were unmarried, those who are unmarried wish they were married, those who were poor wish they were rich, those who were rich wish they were poor. And all of that is just the product of being in Babylon the Great. Because being in this type of society, there is no satisfaction. You never have satisfaction or contentment. Whereas when you have this truth, you have a level of peace that comes from Yahweh Shai through the Spirit of Yahweh. All right, so I'll end it with this. This is John 16 and 33. "These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer.
Strong's G 1515.
Right, and that word
Irene. Irene.
It says a state of national tranquility, exemption from the rage and havoc of war, peace between individuals, i.e. harmony, security, safety, prosperity, felicity, because peace and harmony make and keep things safe and prosperous. So though we have tribulation in the world, you have a peace through Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. And that is something money can't buy. Whenever brothers do get a chance to catch sleep, your sleep is way better, than the billionaires and the elites of this society. Scripture said that they, work iniquity on their beds. Whereas when you lay down, your sleep is sweet, Lord willing, real quick. And it's balanced because you do have those nights where you wake up and you praying to the Lord, but then when you're able to you close your eyes and rest, as the scriptures say here, is Proverbs 3 and 21. It says, "My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet." So you have a peace of mind through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai Shai that money can't buy. Lord willing, we're a part of that number and we endure unto the end. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah.